All right. Speaking of Arizona, we got the Arizona Cardinals versus Dallas Cowboys. We saw what happened to Dak, man. That's unfortunate. We've been talking about his contract. Honestly, I said I hope he got an insurance policy out on his body for this season, which I'm sure if he was smart, he would have done that. You know, he's making $33 million. I'm sure he took out the insurance policy on his whole body there, but he cost himself some money. I'm sure he'll still get in it. Look, it's a fracture. It's a compound fracture. It's nasty, but I'm sure the surgery will go fine. This isn't the Alex Smith injury where he's
right.
He's if Dak Prescott had that injury and he played for Washington, I'm sure the doctors would bungle up and he'd get a staph infection.
Yeah.
One thing you can count on, by the way, with Washington and their medical staff is they'll give you a staph infection if you have them do the surgery. Seriously, I'm dead serious about this. Look at the history of the organization. They give people staph. It's insane. Now Dallas.
That sounds like you're a little bitter, Sean.
I'm not bitter. Look, they've ended multiple careers. Almost got Alex Smith's leg cut off.
That's terrible.
This is the Washington organization. They're garbage. But as Dallas fans are like, yeah, of course they are.
Of course.
Yeah. Who'd ever thought that I would be the Dallas apologist in that scenario, right?
No kidding. Well, Dallas should look in the mirror. Let's talk about that.
Well, I mean, I do think that they'll give him – I think actually Dallas is more likely to extend Dak now than they were before the injury. But they'll extend them. You know, it'll work out for Dak, you know.
Can I just say something a little bold right here? Okay? And feel free to disagree with me. But I don't think that Dallas is any worse of a team today because they're going with what's his name there?
The red. I called him the Red Rocket. It's the Red Rifle.
The Red Rifle.
The Red
Rocket. Yeah, Red Rocket. I don't think they're any worse at all.
No, it's possible they could even be a little better.
Exactly. I was just about to follow it up with that. I mean, look what he did in the fourth quarter, man. He threw 2 big-time throws to
Gallup.
Yeah, man. Those were big-time plays with the game on the line. I don't think that they are any worse. I think that the real magic for Dak, it's not his play, but it's his leadership and his likability and the respect that he just kind of – it's like a vacuum. People just want to give it to him, you know? They really like the guy. But I don't think he's that great, and I think Dalton is just as good.
I agree. I think Dalton's just as good, and he's, $24 million less expensive or whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
So
right, and also maybe now you start giving the ball to Ezekiel Elliott more and more, and make that what you do. Even though they always say that's what they want to do, but they essentially don't.
Yeah,
they could be stronger.
I don't have any argument. I actually completely agree with you.
And let me say one more thing. You know, Jerry Jones, he made a statement. You know, in an emotional moment, he said the right thing because everybody wanted him to say it. Dak's our guy. When he comes back, we pay him. And I think that he meant it when he said it. But, dude, what's the landscape going to be 4 months from now? What's it going to be 6 months from now? I don't think that's a guaranteed thing at all. Do you?
This offseason is weird because it's underreported at this point, but the salary cap drops by 20% next year. We haven't seen the salary, Brad, since we've been friends and talking football. We've never seen the salary cap drop ever because the league revenues are just going up. But because of the lack of fans in the stands and all that, there's now it's actually would have dropped by 40%, but there's an agreement in place, and basically the owner said, well, we're going to set the floor here. But what that's going to do is Dallas, Philadelphia, New Orleans, they're like $80 to $100 million over next year's cap already because the cap isn't going up. So what is Dallas going to do? Can they afford to pay Dak? I mean, they're not going to franchise him. Right. I think they should have put the transition tag on him this year and let him find a deal and then pay him, if they felt like it. That's what they should have done this year. But
I think it's possible that we may have seen the last snap for the Dallas Cowboys from Dak Prescott. I really do.
I was convinced that because of the economics of football and next year and yada, 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 I thought that Dak was never going to be the starter of the Cowboys next season. I thought that with Dalton, Andy Dalton, a year in the system, I thought they would say, okay, go Dak, get your money.
Well, isn't Jerry Jones already telling everybody that very thing? By not signing him to the 7-year, whatever you want to call it, right? The mega contract. Yeah. Isn't he already saying that essentially?
I think he kind of was, but now emotions into it. I think Jerry Jones I think he means it. I think it's more and I think that Dak's salary demands will come back down because I think he'll appreciate the loyalty a little bit more.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I also think it's a possibility he plays for Chicago. But yes, I'm with you there.
There's another component too. Is every team is feeling the crunch economically next year.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst year for a franchise. I'm saying 2021 is the worst year for like a massive quarterback free agent because of that financial crunch and because so many teams have like young quarterbacks that they like. And so, when you're Chicago and you're like, okay, our defense is back. Do we want to, sacrifice some of that defensive depth for a $30 million quarterback? Basically, what I think is going to happen is Dak, he's probably going to leave it in his business managers and his agents' hands, and his agents are going to be like, we got to get that money. We saw what happened to his leg.
Sure.
I think it's more likely now that he's back.
They should say that.
Yeah.
It was a really sad thing. And he seems like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
Man, he just kind of radiates that. And I think we all feel that.
Yeah.
However, I don't think that they're any worse off without him.
I agree.
Yeah.
Now, Arizona, on the other hand, their offense is good. Their defense is better than I thought it would be. They're not a top-flight team. We never thought they would be, but I think you can say that they're better than San Francisco, which I don't think we thought that coming into the season, so we were wrong on that. I did have the Rams and the Seahawks above them. I still have both of those teams above them, but they can put up points, and they're playing Dallas. Kyler Murray might have his best game of his career.
Oh, my God, for sure, like a video game out there.
They can't cover primary receivers. DeAndre Hopkins might, and he's had some monster games. He might have the best game of his career.
For sure.
Odell Beckham puts up 3 touchdowns. There's no reason DeAndre Hopkins can't put up 4 or 5.
That's exactly right.
Let me just hit you with the line here, man. Arizona, according to Bovada, -2.5 versus Dallas. Who you got?
Remind me where the game is again, Sean.
In Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
Yep.
Oh, this is a tough one for me, man. Oh, man. Let me go with Arizona.
I'm going to say
Dallas couldn't stop a nosebleed.
I know. I'm going to say this is the week that they do it for Dak.
Okay, yeah. I was going to go with that theory. I really was.
Yeah.
But McCarthy is such a chumpy idiot that he can't even get that message across. He'll squash that with his old school patrolman attitude.
Little ex-Green Bay coach bias there.
A little security guard at the gate.
He doesn't have a security guard.
He's that turd.
So you're taking Arizona. I'll take Dallas. Do it for Dak. I think he'll do it. Let's go with some rapid fire, man. Kansas City, again, we haven't watched the Buffalo game. Bovada has Kansas City -3 versus Buffalo. Who you got?
Wow, Kansas City all of a sudden not getting a lot of love, man. And I know Buffalo's been playing well, but I'm still surprised by that line. I would still have to have assumed that Kansas City would be a touchdown favorite. Wouldn't they be a touchdown favorite over everybody, or am I just giving them too much love based on tenure? The point is I'm going with Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Kansas City, they had tough games against the Chargers and the Raiders, and I think Kansas City's sleepwalking through the first part of this year.
It may be that way, right?
I mean, they're like moonwalking around, doing stuff. They're just not. Their defense isn't playing well. Their offense, we've been so complimentary of them. They're not playing as up to their standards as of well. They're just not giving us a Kansas City that we know, and I'm very cognizant of that. But the game where they needed to be up, and it was after that really bad Chargers game, they dominated Baltimore, who's a pretty good football team. I think Kansas City is going to be up for this game. -3, I always take Kansas City when it's under a 7.
Totally. That may be the pick of the week right there.
Yeah, I mean that's
easy.
Too much value. I'm going to go with Kansas City -3 there. I like that a lot. Next game we have Atlanta +3.5 versus Minnesota.
Oh, my God. What is going on in Atlanta? The whole thing is crumbling. And Minnesota's not faring too much better, man. And what kind of psychological effect is them going for it against Seattle with a yard to go to seal the game, not getting it, then giving up the final touchdown? It's like, what do you think about that call, by the way, Sean?
I don't like anything that Atlanta's doing this year. I think I think the coach is just like they're throwing darts at a dartboard. I didn't think.
Yeah, okay.
I think Atlanta will be a little bit better with Dirk Cutter calling plays and just like not and just calling a Dirk Cutter game instead of trying to do this power running weird stuff. It was just like,
yeah, right.
I don't know. It was kind of
like
off.
The whole thing's off.
Yeah, it was bad. Minnesota's playing better. Anyway, like I said, Atlanta 3.5.
Let's go Minnesota.
I'm gonna go Minnesota too. I think they're playing better. Let's see. Next game, we have Baltimore, according to Bovada, -7.5 versus Philly.
Ooh, I got to go Baltimore there, man. I don't, for whatever reason, Philly doesn't have it, and I think they run into a juggernaut that is Baltimore and Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, it's interesting, man, but Philly can put up points. It's one of these things where if Philly goes up 14 early, Baltimore just has a tough time climbing back. I think it's within a touchdown. I'm going to take Philadelphia, and it wouldn't shock me even if Philadelphia pulls off an upset. This feels like an upset week. Everybody's looking past them. I'm going to take Philadelphia to cover that spread.
I don't hate that pick.
Yeah. Let's see. Chicago, according to Bovada, +3 versus Carolina.
Ooh, this is an interesting game, man. You know what? Teddy Bridgewater, I like him. Has he ever not won a football game?
I know.
I mean, does he ever start a game and lose? I haven't seen it in years.
Yeah.
So by that rationale, I'm going to go with Carolina.
I'm going to say Chicago's defense gets it together. Nick Foles hasn't looked great, but he's played Indianapolis and Tampa Bay's defense his first two games. I think Chicago finally gives us a good offensive showing with Nick Foles. I think we get our 3-touchdown game from Nick Foles. So I'm going to take Chicago. Chicago to handle business primarily defensively, but Foles scores enough to get it done and looks better than he has the first 2 weeks. Cincinnati, according to Bovada, +9 versus Indianapolis.
Boy, Indianapolis is not looking well. Mainly Phillip Rivers. I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrow can maybe even outplay the future Hall of Famer. I think that's what we'll see.
I agree, man. Joe Burrow is a little underrated. Cincinnati's defense is a little underrated. I think Indianapolis is good enough to win this game, but 9 points is way too much for what Cincinnati can do. We've seen a couple of tough defensive matchups in recent weeks from Cincinnati. I'm not having the recent history bias here. I think Cincinnati covers the spread comfortably. Next game, we have Detroit coming off a bye week, according to Bovada, -3.5 versus Jacksonville.
Oh, God, Detroit is so disgusting. Jesus, that team, dude. I'm so over it, man. Yeah. They're going to be ahead by 10 and then somehow find a way to lose by 7. Jacksonville, right? I mean, that's all they do.
This is a character week for them. We'll see, man. I don't know. Both teams to me are so similar. I don't know what to do here. Earlier in the week, I picked Jacksonville, but that half point's weighing on me now. I think I'm going to change my pick back to I'm sorry, earlier I picked Detroit. I think I'm going to change my pick back to Jacksonville, and I might waffle on this one again. I'm just going to stay away from it, but for now, I'll pick Jacksonville. Next game, we have Houston, according to Bovada, +2 versus Tennessee, who, as of the time of this recording, has not played the Tuesday night game yet.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go with Tennessee, though. I really like them without knowing how tonight goes, which makes it a little trickier, right?
Yeah, so, assuming no big injuries and people are back from the COVID reserve list and all that. I'm with you. I like Tennessee. I'm a believer in them. I like the way they play football. And Ryan Tannehill's a little underrated. He's pretty efficient.
I agree. Yep. I agree.
Bad one in the NFC East here. We got the Washington football team, according to Bovada, +3 versus the Giants.
Oh, I like Alex Smith to go nuts. I like Alex Smith to have a great day. At least I'd love to see it anyway.
So you're going to take Washington. I'm going to take the Giants. I think they're coming off. When you need some good vibes in the offense, when you need some positive momentum and some confidence, play Dallas. And that's what the Giants did last week. I think the whole offense feels better waking up on a Monday morning. I know they lost the game, but they're like, hey, we can move the ball. We can score. I think the Giants handle business here, and I think it's their first win of the season if they end up winning this game. So we'll see. We got the Miami Dolphins, according to Bovada, +1 versus the Denver Broncos. Oh, I'm sorry. That game got moved.
That's right.
It's the Patriots. It's the Patriots and Broncos. Man, I was going to be all over that Dolphins line. Plus points against Denver? No way. But anyway.
When did that game get moved to? Is that like a next week thing?
I think it's moved to November. It's like they're shuffling bye weeks now because of everything. So let's just move it on. We got the New York Jets, according to Bovada, +8 versus the Los Angeles Chargers.
I think that the Jets hang in there. I think that Herbert gets his would it be his first win or his second win?
I think it would be his second.
I don't want to be a hater, but everybody's slurping this guy, and he's played well, and I like what I see. He's got the personality of a gray turd in the lawn, but he's been playing good football. Have you ever seen a person with less emotion on his face? Right? Give us something, dude. Have a hiccup or something. Jeez.
No, yeah.
I like him, though. I like him. I think they win, but I don't think they cover that large spread.
He's super talented. He's super talented. But yeah, 8 points. I see this as a 7 point. I think the Chargers win, but the Jets, this is what the Jets do. Everybody sleeps on, everybody's down on them. They suck so bad. Now, Le'Veon Bell's back. You had Jamison Crowder. I think they might get some other receivers back healthy. This is a game that the Jets cover. It's just one of those things. So I'm going to take the Jets as well.
I feel that as well.
Yep. And then we already talked about the other ones. So that takes us through the episode, Brody.
All right, my man. It's even without the fans, which is lame. It's been a lot of fun. It's been super interesting.
Yeah, man. Some good teams. Good teams playing. A lot of fun. A lot of good matchups. And we got another, good crop of matchups this week. Anyway, man, for the audience out there, appreciate you listening. Like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Go out, make some bets, and get paid.